What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Tabletop Takeout Tuesday! Alright, love this bit because this is a bit where I get to tell you why I love a certain game or aspects about it. What it is that gets me wanting a certain game to the table and to experience it. Now, today's game is from a small publisher in Canada that I've really gotten into these games so far over the last few years. And I'm very excited to be able to tell you exactly why I love certain aspects of this game. What it is about this game that shines to me. Now, this isn't a full review. There will be one on that, where I'll get into depth on the rules and mechanics and everything like that. But this is just quick why I love certain things. What I want you to know about it. So come on, join me. Get down the table, and I'll tell you why I love, and I think you might enjoy, Die in the Dungeon. Hey, you stuck around after that intro. Cool. Alright, so yes, I really do enjoy this game. FunDaMental games. Die in the Dungeon is something that has struck me as a fantastic idea. Well, actually, going all the way back to the 80s. Some of the earliest ideas can be found in early copies of Dragon Magazine and White Dwarf and other gaming periodicals with the idea of a reverse dungeon. Right? This whole concept where you are the monsters, the creatures, and it's your job to protect yourself, your goods, your family, your established environment, your territory. Protect it from these murder hobos. Really, that's always been a fun concept of mine. It's one thing to go into a kobold cavern and commit genocide of that particular tribe. But what if you're playing from the kobold side? And that is the idea that Die in the Dungeon takes, where me, you, the player of the game, is actually a monster. Now, this has a little bit of a deeper story where, yes, you are a monster, but you were captured and torn away from your home by a more powerful evil wizard, and you are charged with protecting his lair and his stuff. And apparently, if you do a good enough job, he says he's going to release you one day. Can a kidnapper be trusted? So that is one of the top reasons right there. Not that these are any particular order, but that is definitely one of the top reasons why I really love this game. Now, that's not the only reason. Now, this is primarily a one-player game. So obviously, over the past year and a half or so far, one-player games have definitely been a very needed addition to the gaming table. We've definitely needed to see more games that are one-player or can easily be soloed. But not only is this a great experience, soloing, but it can handle two players, and you're going to have a really fun, good adventure doing that. In fact, not that I've had the opportunity to do this myself, but apparently if you have two copies, I believe you can actually play 4 players up to this game. You'll have enough materials then to do it. So it does unfold in a way that works both so well with 2 players, multiplayers, or just the single player option that it kind of was really originally built around to begin with. So that's a plus in my book. And have you seen the Standees that this game uses? Now you can get miniatures. There's a PDF, there's a file that you can get so you can have it 3D printed, which was really cool. And you may have seen in some of my videos and the slideshow, particularly the die roller, which is kind of like they're sort of beholder like creature, only dice specific. But the game naturally comes with these standees, and the standees are absolutely gorgeous. They're fully painted and they're on clear acrylic. The standees are clear acrylic with the painted images of these creatures, and it looks fantastic. It looks beautiful, even though it's this thin acrylic as opposed to a full featured modeled rendered miniature. It uses the clearness of the acrylic behind it along with the full color and the colors themselves, using different depths and shadows, and it looks as 3D as, well, it is 3D, right? It was very thin. It looks as 3D as a miniature. It really kind of does. And it looks so beautiful on the board. I absolutely love this. And I wish more companies that are going to do standees would use full colored clear acrylic. Please put that on your to-do list. And let me point this out too. Although it's a board game, it has a very strong RPG feel, because whichever creature you're using, you end up going through this whole leveling experience, and you're getting extra dice to use, improving your power that way, and it does feel a little bit more like an RPG, and that's a huge bonus to me for any board game. And I think anyone that enjoys RPGs should look for aspects like this in board games when they can find them. And right here you go. We have one example of it right here. Now, also keep in mind that this is, as I said, an RPG feel, and that in itself does add on to more of a sense of replayability. Not just a sense, it is a total replayability throughout this game, because of the different aspects that you go through with each of the creatures, their special abilities. You're leveling up, you're getting more dice. There are so many different variations of the board, not just the ones in the setting, in the campaign sort of storyline that runs through. It's really set up that you can make your own. You can make your own board, and therefore your own stories. So the replayability is really immeasurable at that point. And how can that not be a plus for any game? And on top of everything else, the rules are not complicated. There's not a lot of fidgety things you really have to keep your eye on or keep track of whatsoever. And all of this makes it a very easy game to learn or to teach. If you're going to be running a two-player game, or you just want to teach someone so they can have a one-player session and some fun that way themselves. And setup for the game is quick enough as well. The way the storage is for the box, you have the tiles right there where you need them, so they're easy enough to sift through, especially if you put them back in any sort of way that will make it easier for you. Obviously, when you take them back out instead of putting them in haphazardly. But generally speaking, no, it's a fast setup, fast, easy rules to learn, and nothing to really tie you up in the middle of the game. That's definitely a huge bonus, and it's another thing that attracts me to it, and why I want to put it on the table, and why I want to game it. And I think the last thing I gotta say is, it comes from a company that has a good track record. FunDaMental Games has already impressed with Duel of the Dragons, with Legend of Novus, and most recently with Questeros, a tarot card-based fantasy game. The fun company comes out with fun games. Generally speaking, all the games are either solo or one playable. And I say one playable in the sense that it's sometimes they're not always the same exact game when you're playing multiplayers. It's not one of those types of companies that comes out with games that just use 3 or 4 people. It's cooperative in style, so you can play one player. You're running 3 or 4 characters. No, these games that they come out with are traditionally specifically made solo in mind, and then they're also made to deal with multiplayers after that in most cases, and that's really great. So great track record, fun games, a lot of good thought put into the games. So that's another reason why I enjoy it, because it's just following suit with everything else that's come before it, and so far the game that's came after it. So all these things together make me want to play the game. Look, honestly, if you're looking for a fun game that can be soloed or played head-to-head, or if you'd enjoy it enough and you actually go out and buy a second game, you can play up to 4 with it. But a solo game, 2-player game, it's going to be a lot of fun. Dungeon Delve, reverse style. Let's get a little revenge on those murder hobos for once. There's a few of them out there, but I gotta say, so far, in my opinion, Die in the Dungeon, that's the one I want to play. So please, go check it out. Thank you very much. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. And my friends, I am out of here.